Time now to welcome our market master of the day, Sanjay Dutt, Director of Quantum Securities, now joins in. Sanjay, hi, good morning. Good to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
There's one negative view that some things don't change at all. Would you be that skeptical as well after the overnight developments, or would you want to give the government more time and would not be too perturbed by the developments?
No, I completely disagree that some things don't change. I think sitting today, that's exactly 30 days from the time the government is taken over. There have been some excellent measures, there have been excellent announcements, and actually more than that, the entire mood is so upbeat at this point of time. The sentiment has changed, that this government believes in action, the government is in interactive mode. Yes, we would have been very happy if the gas price decision came in yesterday and the uncertainty got over, whichever way. But the point is, it's a very complicated matter to just get over with and be done within 30 days. And if government actually ended up doing it so soon, without deliberations or without consulting all the stakeholders, which includes the gas producers, gas explorers, etc., as well as the consumers, we would have said, oh, what's the great hurry? Government has come and it's a pro so-and-so industry government, anti-poor government. But I think the government has very clearly laid out a roadmap that in the next 3 months it will do it. It's inclined to look at it's made its intent very clear. And if you look back on many other steps, there are right things that have been done. So I'm not that skeptical at this point of time. In fact, I'm not skeptical at all.
Sanjay, hi, good morning. Okay, that adds to our long list of experts who have told us since morning that they are not skeptical on this news. But be that as it may, what would you buy into some of these oil and gas stocks now? I mean, even as we speak, ONGC, Reliance, etc., are recovering from the lows of trade.
Absolutely, no second thoughts, because you can't expect the government in 30 days to grow, like I mentioned, and at the risk of repeating and sounding like a broken record, you can't expect the government in 30 days to really, take a magic wand and get everything going. Like I said, these are very important decisions. So therefore, I would use this opportunity to buy whatever negative news flows or negative expectations that are not fulfilled and people get disappointed. So I'm not worried at all. I would recommend a buying opportunity in the oil and gas space on every such panic correction on non-event issues.
So Sanjay, would that view hold for the market as well? And can market have a pre-budget rally? And if yes, what could be the quantum of that rally?
I think this whole pre-budget rally is, not relevant, because if you look today, every government about just about a month or two before the budget lands up doing some of the key price hikes, some policy changes. Like for instance, we had a very clear and positive announcement from the finance minister for the auto sector. It could have waited for the budget, but he chose to do it before that. Similarly, the rail price hike. So, to wait for a pre-budget rally or try to play that pre-budget rally, I don't think that's relevant. I think what is relevant for the markets right now and for every person in the market is to look at a bottom-up individual stock approach, is to look at opportunities that will gain from the positive sentiment, the positive actions that will follow. We had such an event yesterday. We had more than $1 billion or nearly $1 billion being raised in the largest telecom company. I don't see anyone really feeling positive about that, because where have we seen in the last 3 years placement or raising of that size? So, it goes to show that the confidence that the investors have now is coming back into the market. Money is flowing in. The company balance sheets and debts will start getting sorted out. So I would say look at bottom-up approach. Don't worry about a pre-budget rally or such events as yet, because India has a long-term story to play for the next 5 to 10 years, and there'll be enough opportunities to buy on dips.
Okay. You just spoke about the auto sector, Sanjay. The extension of that excise duty cut. Do you see some incremental buying action, or would you expect incremental buying action in the auto stocks because of this? In any case, most of these stocks have been sitting at fresh highs.
Yes, price and buying is a different issue, but what I commented was on policy action pre-budget. No, I wouldn't buy the auto stocks at the current prices. I would wait for, some kind of a correction, some kind of panic in the sector or in the market where I would like to buy them. Obviously, at this point of time, they are over-owned. Every portfolio, every institutional portfolio of large size is more or less fully invested in them. So I think this probably will not be the right time to buy some of the large cap auto stocks. But I think overall sector in the longer term is reasonably positive. If you see cost of funds, easier fundraising happening, easy availability of finance for consumers happening in the next few months, definitely the sector looks good.
Sanjay, what about private banks? Would valuations be a bit of a worry now after the kind of surge that we have seen, or would you still be comfortable buying an ICICI Bank or HDFC Bank at current levels?
I don't think I would like to buy the private banks. I've held this view for quite some time. I've been more inclined to buying the public sector banks, more on the fact that the restructuring plays, they were beaten down a lot. Once the economic wheels of economic cycle, really wheels of economy start turning, we'll see the banks gaining the most, because companies would be able to pay off debts, companies will be able to deleverage, similarly bank NPAs will be sorted out. So my bet is much larger on the public sector bank space than the private sector bank space. I would want to stay away from them. In my view, they're fully valued or overvalued to an extent, and also over-owned.
Okay. Well, Sanjay, if you look at the way the month of June has panned out, a lot of these highly leveraged stocks, have seen a big movement on the upside. It could be just a tactical move. I mean, names like Suzlon, Punj Lloyd, Unitech, etc. have seen 20-30% gains in this month itself. Do you see these stocks continue to move higher, this particular pocket?
I think some of them, you correctly said, they're just short-term tactical moves and more speculative bets and plays that are being, traded upon. But some of them are actually companies which would be able to solve their balance sheet and restructuring issues. And that's the reason on that expectation, and some on some real action. Like I mentioned, a company, a specific sector a few minutes back. Some of them would move up because of actual fundraising and actual debt reduction and actual, restructuring issues. But I think quite a few of them have moved up purely on anticipation and pure speculation than fundamentals. Yes, I agree with you that, there are more tactical moves than actually, a structural change in their balance sheets or in their outlook ahead.
By the way, the market has now slipped quite a bit, 75.31. So looks like that 7,500 mark could be threatened yet again. And while oil and gas stocks have been weak, Infosys could be the reason that the market has fallen. If you see intraday chart of Nifty and Infosys, they're similar, absolutely similar. So Infosys now trading at low point of the day, and that's actually dragged the market in late trade. Sanjay, a word on Infosys. A buy at current levels, or would you avoid? Would you like to see how the new CEO takes the company forward?
I wouldn't like to buy Infosys at the current levels. I think they're better bets in the technology sector. I believe in the long-term story, but buying it right now, I don't think so. I think the new CEO needs time to settle down, because just getting a CEO doesn't mean that next morning you got the switch on and you are at full 200 km/h. He takes time to settle down, cultural issues, integration issues, top management, communication issues. A lot of issues need to be sorted out when there is a change in the top management. It will take time, but I think in the longer term, the company would definitely benefit, the stock would do well. But I wouldn't buy it right now. I think there are better bets in the technology sector to bet on.
Okay, well, we have a query that has come in from our money control message board. So Sanjay, let me just read that out for you. Arav Srivastava has written to us. He wants to know if this is the right time to buy ITC. Well, ITC is one of the biggest losers this week. It will be down about, it's down already about 6% or so. Is this a good time to buy ITC at this 315 level?
Out of question, Sonia, in my view, this is the last stock amongst the large caps you should be buying. In fact, I have a different view on this altogether, along with Axis Bank and L&T, which in fact Mr. Deepak Parekh also clearly voiced in an interview that I read a few days back. The first thing that the Government of India in SUTI, that's the vehicle that was set up to bail out Unit 64, along with Government of India, I think other investors who are holding on to ITC should be selling it, because I do not like tobacco plays at this point of time, and particularly ITC, because it's over-owned. You can also make out that all these stocks are in the higher end of range, and in case we're talking about a FMCG slowdown because of monsoon, that is another segment that will be impacted. We obviously have a talk about much higher tax, in fact radically higher tax proposals what the health minister talked about on the cigarettes. So I think everything is not looking good there. I think there are much better bets on a bottom-up approach basis. And to me, the most important step the government needs to take at this point of time is, instead of selling, strategic PSUs which are mineral-rich, which are particularly resource-rich PSUs, government should be selling out the SUTI lock, stock and barrel. And that will stretch easily about 50,000 odd crores, of which the largest chunk will belong to ITC. I fail to understand what business does the government have to be holding on to a tobacco company, while at the same time we spend thousands of crores probably in discouraging tobacco, at the same time with advertisements across media platforms.
Yes, Sanjay, I don't know why I asked you that question. I remember from many interviews in the past that this is not a space and a story that you like. But thanks so much for joining us and giving us your view. That's the word coming
Thank
in
you.
from Sanjay Dutt of Quantum. He says that this market, of course, could see some more, by way of jitters.